Okay, welcome to my channel. I am Aliyarkam Khatak and I'm going to give you the breakdown of this scene of how I made this. Actually, this is gonna be like these videos are gonna be in parts. Like the first part is this how I made this background video. Everything else, the rivers, the middle ground, the main elements, the mountains, they're gonna be far over here. These are actually very huge mountains. You can see this is the z value. Actually, I don't know why it does that, but this is the z value. And yeah, so let's get started. It's not gonna be this much detailed. I'm not gonna give you a much detailed video. I'm just gonna give you an overview of how I made this easily. So first is this part, this mesh. It's gonna take time to render it. So first is this part, this mesh. This is where I started. This is the first object which I placed in my scene. I placed my camera here, then this part. Actually this first, then my camera here, and change the location until I feel like this is good. We'll come to its texture. This is actually a 3D scanned object. You guys can see its mesh. Very interesting looking mesh. This is 3D scanned. All of these texture, which I will actually open the shader editor. So the shader editor is this some shader editor of this thing. How I made this? In just a sec. What is that? Yeah, you can see the texture mask. But I did not had this in my final render, so I skipped it. But still, for this video purpose, I've just connected here. It's very high res over here, and why it's high res is because I changed its mesh. Like this material is this one. I think I'm messing up. Yeah, you can see the cherry orchards. I got this from Blender Kit, and texture mask. This vertex groups I get them here. Then this material for this huge plane, and then this material. This is the interesting thing. What I did was this is the whole node setup. I grouped it. You can see the path. I will control shift T here. This was the path which I like this texture painted it so that I could have this texture only in the whites, the grays and the whites. And you can see this texture very much scaled down. I'll show you why I did that. The noise texture, the main element was over here. Actually, I don't need that. I don't know why I left it, but I'm not gonna change it now. This scene is final already. So how I achieved this detail so easily? Actually, this detail, this texture is the same as this one. I just added a little something I learned in YouTube. There are people who do this. I seen them. They add this Warner texture, and let me just mute it. This can be like this. It's the UV. I messed up the UV, but this texture was about this part. Had to go. I'm back. So I seen this in YouTube. People actually add this Voronoi texture or a noise texture or Musgrave texture here between these two nodes and connect this with this vector and add this in the rotation. So if I change its value, you can see how much difference it makes. So I'll leave it at that. So that's how I achieved such interesting looking ground texture. So yeah, that was my approach for this scene, where the forms and other elements will be placed for the scene, which will look like this from the camera angle. And let me this out. I will have much better renders. Okay, so from far this area looks good, but this doesn't. And also let me show you, I turned on the simplify and had the texture limit to 128. So that's another reason why this is this looks like this. If I get this to 2K, it'll look better, but I don't need that. It looks good, but I don't need that. I wanted other details on it, other 3D mesh on it. So I let me enable this. These are the 3D assets I used and instanced them throughout the scene. Like these four are the main heroes, which I will place. You'll see them everywhere around that mountain. I only do like Alt D, and you had the same mesh, but they don't like add up to their vertices, don't add up to the scene because they are like instanced of this thing. So if I shift D, they both look same, but they also add geometry to the scene, which will eventually, if I shift D everywhere, my scene size, you will see, increases. And I used a lot of them, so not a good approach, especially for those who don't have such an high end PC. Recommend Alt T, it's helpful. So these are the four main elements which will be instanced everywhere around this mountain, here, 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 you'll see them. So let me hide this and unhide this. That's what I'm talking about. You see, I have good quality. Let me get the 2K again, so you see the better quality. That's how it will look in the final render, which I love it. I love this. Did this on purpose because I wanted to achieve something, and it was a practice for me. This was the first time I used 3D scanned object with such good texture and instance them effectively. Not in the back, didn't need them. So this is where the 3D scanned rocks were placed. Okay, I hide this again. And now the town, the medieval city, those are here. Yes, this is the town. From above you can see I placed them, not scattered them like an animal, but in a controlled way, in a structured way. Like the road network, I kept that in mind and didn't scatter them everywhere so widely. These houses you can get them from, I think I got these from Sketchfab. So very good 3D assets. I have the main elements over here, main house. Yeah, I'll get to them. So these were the main houses which I like instanced around here and there. You can see this instance, so I think the main element is somewhere in there. Left it but you got the idea. And they look so good from far if the 2K is enabled, which from far you won't even notice that much. Only if you want to zoom in, then you'll see they look like this. And that's the size. You will see that's how far they are. Then I have, what else do I have? Okay, I forgot to connect the texture. This was the bush. I yeah, from in the whites. Okay, and what was that? Yeah, for this road I used another material on it, blended them together. You can see them, they look good. If I hadn't done that, let me show you. If I hadn't done that, it would look like this, which is good, but no, I do not want that. I wanted to add another layer on it, another texture on it that looks like a ground roady material with rocks and stuff. So yeah, this was my approach for the town, the road system. And I also forgot to show you the orchard, the farm. You can get these texture from Blender Kit. I got them from here. So I added animals on it. I added bushes so that they are separated. You can see that they are in air. The shadows show you like they are in air. I didn't see that, but from far you won't be able to tell. Or actually you may. Let me turn on another thing I added. Where are the garden trees? Yes, the trees. That's why you won't be able to tell if they are in air or not. Even though I think the trees are in air, but I left that. I don't know why, but that was stupid of me. Added some cows. You can also get these from Blender Kit. Add some stone fence to separate the farm and the houses and the other ground from the road. So try to make it look structural as possible. Try to make it look good. And then I have the cemetery, the graves here. You can see what I'm doing. Town, farm, like a whole civilization I tried to make. Not perfect, but I tried, and I'm proud of myself that I did that, and I'm good with it. I'm okay with it. So the final element, which will be, let me turn these off because they are adding geometry and I want to explain without any problem. So the castle, which will be placed here at the top of the mountain where the king lives or whatever. You can see this is 3D scanned. The mesh, you can clearly see this is 3D scanned, which I got from CG Trader. No, not CG Trader, Sketchfab. And from far it looks good, but if it was close somewhere around here, you would have detected this, that yeah, it's very bad poly and it will not look good near the camera, but at the far it looks good. Adds realism to your scene. Okay, and I also added villa glyphs. These skyrocketed my scene very good, very efficiently, but I started to feel a little discomfort with these things. Like the mesh was not very good. In the 2K you can really see it's in 2K and it looks bad. So I skipped that. I kept them there. I didn't remove them, but they won't be much more visible. Yeah, they look bad. So added these more 3D asset on top of it, so to cover up. And I actually added the willow cliffs. That was also, I forgot to tell you, that was also a 3D scan. I use 3D scan a lot, 3D scan model a lot here. This piece maybe was in the background for the depth. So yeah, this was the area where the whole civilization was built. And then I have the foreground, which is here. Let me this and this. This is where the main hero was gonna be. I tried to make a scene where I had an idea, but it flopped because I don't have a very good PC, so I could not render it or anything beyond that point. So I skipped that and added. Since I made the scene, I thought why not do something else. So I added another idea, and that I'll show you on the part 3, 2. I don't know, part 2 or 3. I can't guess, but another part you'll see the foreground stuff what I added here and all the details of the vegetation, the main hero who's gonna be in another part. In this part I will just show you the background related stuff, all the scene breakdown. So yeah, I forgot to tell you about this part. This is also this simple mesh which I got. If you have the ANT landscape add-on enabled, you can get them. Where is the landscape? Yeah, here it is. So you have so many presets available to you. It's very interesting. And I used the lake one. No, not this one. Lake 2. No, it's a river. Yeah, this one. This is the same model. I only increased these subdivisions, the mesh size, and also added much more things on it. Yeah, and then I kept it as detailed as possible. And then since I used the same texture that I used on this, it looked good there, and I thought why not use it here too. The water shader was just a simple water shader I got from Blender Kit. You can search water and choose whatever you want to your liking. So yes, simple, very simple. And the particle system I will show you. Let me enable that. All the grass on this scene are two stuff. One was the small grass I used, and the other was the fern, the bushes. Yeah, these were in the bushes collection, and the other grass collection. And I weight painted this thing, and yeah, weight painted it and scattered it on this surface. And I the grass. This is the grass. Yeah, 3000 hairs, and I also interpolation children particles, enable them so that in the final render it will look much dense, full of grass. Did the same here in this scene. Let me disable let me know where is the house. Yeah, so I did the same here too. You can see the shore is dense with vegetation. This area I left out because it won't be visible, because the foreground covers this whole area up, so I left that out. And yeah, this is the mid-ground scene. I will now show you the background, which is a very interesting approach and quite helpful for me, and it will be helpful for you, I'm sure, if you want to try that same technique I did, and that is the splat trees. You can see so much detail from far from this camera. These mesh, which is like 453, it already looks good. And why it looks good? Because this is a 3D scanned forest. From close up you can see how bad it looks. Not much detail, no details, but you can see the color difference, like the green, the dark green, the ground color, the difference. Some area have trees and some don't, some are dense, some are less dense. Like, this is what I wanted, and this is what I wanted in the background, not here because it would look bad. So I also got this from CG Trader. CG Trader, yeah. And since if I added a plane as an example, let me show you. If I added a plane and I subdivided it like 100 times or maybe more, and I added trees and particle system here in this scene, my here and there, it will crash my PC, and I wouldn't have been able to complete this render, like all of this, because I don't have very good PC. So it randomly clicked in my mind this idea, why not use 3D scanned forest, and it helped. It really helped me a lot, and like this changed everything for me. So in future I may be using this technique much more in my environment renders. I will be making much more, and I will try to be consistent on YouTube from now on. So just need your guys support, that's all. So this is like the background where the whole forest is, but it still looks bad. Why it looks bad? Because let me remove the castle, the main elements here, because there is no horizon. All the like reference images I've seen, like the people those huge landscape shots, there's always a horizon at the far end, and I didn't have that, so it is still incomplete. So I added, you can see the name Far Mountain the mountains. Now it looks much more realistic, because the horizon is almost like far and almost same in the same line. Without that it would look like this, which is like incomplete, like why the world ended right there, why is it not stretching over the horizon and something like that. So I added this and it completed my scene. This is also a 3D scanned mountain terrain. Let me scale that up. It was actually much in more height, the peaks, but I scaled them down, so better to have better like horizon. And it is like in realistic for in those photos you can see all those mountains, even though they are very huge, but in the horizon in the end they look leveled, like all of them look leveled up in the far area. So I did that, tried to match it as close as possible, and yeah, this was my background. And also let me like this, and also I added this image of the sky text, the sky, and let me get this in 2K. So this is how it will look. You can see how the sky is like filled with clouds and going towards the horizon, and that's where the trees end up. Much could have looked better if I increased that. Yeah, it could have looked much better if I did that. shit. But yeah, I already made the final render, so I'm not. It took me like 2 days to render the 10-second scene. So yeah, you can see that my even though there's a lot of stuff on the scene and a lot of stuff hidden, like 1.5 already. So I tried to be as optimized, try to keep my scene as optimized as I have to as fuck as optimized as possible. So, so you can see if I enable these, all of these, like let's see, 2 million splatteries, 200, the 3D assets. Yeah, they're instanced, so they're not gonna do much. The house, they're also instanced. The main scene, the main stuff is like hidden. The stone fence, the hay bale, the bush, the graves, the animals. If I enable the garden trees, the main house, and the main 3D assets, like not that much, but still it if this was in 2K, then I wouldn't have been able to do that if the simplify was off. So what happens if I do this? Yeah, nothing in this scene, in this viewport, but in the render viewport, nah, it's not gonna work. So I will get this back, hide all of these guys again, the main blocker, the garden trees, the light, the villa, the lift, the splat tree, the castle, these guys. Yeah, and I also forgot, sorry, the farm mountain. I will enable this and the splat trees, and over the main block out where, yeah. So it still lacks realism, and I'll show you where. Let me get this back so there's no hole here. All the realistic landscape shot you'll see, there's fog, there's volumetric, like real fog. In the real world there is fog. So as we look much far away, the fog denses up. So I did that too, and looks very realistic, much better. What happens if I do this? Yeah, it's it's not good. I need to subtly subtle. I just wanted the fog to like gradually increase as we look further and further away. If I remove that, yeah, it doesn't do anything much. Yeah, except it adds over here. You can see the fog layer here, there. So yeah, this is my background. This is my scene's background background video. So I hope you guys liked it, enjoyed it, and yeah, thank you for watching. Please subscribe. I am new, so yeah, please subscribe. Thank you very much. Okay, bye.